I'll show you how to hack a Windows using Trojan. So this is a Windows 7 machine. I'm going to use this one to attack a Windows 10 machine. So let's get started. Okay. So as you can see, is a port number written. So the default port number is given as 5552. So I'll keep it as it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Trojan. For that, I will need my own IP. So this is my IP. This is my local IP for now. And this is the port number. You can use a icon also if you want. I have an ISO file in my computer. I'm going to use that. So the name of the file is going to be server.exe and it's going to be saved in a temp directory. So with all set, let me just build it. I'm going to save it here. Okay, it's all done. So before you might have seen that there was a port number written. It was actually a listener. So this is a screen where the connection is actually going to come. So here is the file. As you can see, it has a icon too. So it looks like a doc file. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in the victim's machine. It looks like a normal file. You can just fool the victim in believing and make him just open it. Now, once he double clicks on it, the file is executed. As you can see, I have received the connection. Now, what are the things a hacker can do? Let's see. This is the IP of the system which I have attacked. Let me just confirm for you guys. So as you can see, the IP is 192.168.1.107, which matches. I have the user, I have the install date and other stuff. Now let me show you what I can do with this access. Okay. So this is the file manager of the system. As you can see, I have the access to the C drive, all the program files, thus even the system32 file. I can create, delete, and do anything I want. So this is the desktop. So I can create a file here and just name it as hack, for example. And as you can see in the victim's machine, the file has been created. What I can do is I can also remove it if I want. Similarly, I have the task manager list. I can see what the other processes that are running. How can I use that? Let me show you. For example, a victim opens a random application in his system. Let's just open Notepad for now. Okay. So as you can see, all the processes that are running in the system are shown here. Here you can see Notepad. So if I kill it, the file gets closed. All the application running, you can just control it from here. And that's not even the best part. You can chat with the victim from here. Let's just say this is your name. We're gonna use this name to chat with it. Right. We have a chat window here. Let's just say hi and send. As you can see, the victim receives the chatted. Now he would try to close it, but there is no way he can close it until you manually close it from here. Not only that, you can see what the victim is actually doing. For example, let's just open recycling bin for now. And I'm going to create a remote desktop. I can actually see the victim's desktop. So using this particular Trojan, you can like literally control the whole system. You can get passwords, you can use the microphone, anything. So that's how you can hack Windows using a Trojan. So I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment. The next thing I'm going to show is how to hack a smartphone using Trojan. You can hack any Android device with it. Let me show you. So this is my attacker's machine, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the GUI I'm going to use for creating the Trojan. Similarly, like the last one, this is a listener portion, and this is where the device name is going to come when we have access to it. So the port we're going to use to receive the connection is 4444, and I'm going to generate an APK containing the Trojan. So as you can see, the application name is WhatsApp, and the file name is also WhatsApp in this case. And I've already placed my IP here, and the listener port and the port for creating the APK is same. So all set. If you want, you can bind another APK with this one. For example, you want to hide your file with a real APK, with a real running APK. You can use this to bind it. You can use stealth mode also. What it does is once installed, the app vanishes from the app list. You have to manually go to your uninstall settings and uninstall it. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna give a plain explanation. So let me generate the APK. Okay, the file has been created. Let's just turn on our listener. And the file is saved here. Now I have to move it to my mobile phone. I'll be displaying that too just in a moment. Okay, so this is my mobile screen. So I'm going to install the APK now. So this is the APK I just created. So as you can see, these are the permissions the APK is asking for. So the permissions that the app is asking is similar to that WhatsApp asks. Is asking to read the call logs, take pictures, videos, modify your contacts, basically whatever you do on a smartphone. So I'm going to install it.
But Moyuk, the people are curious how we can simulate this attack over the internet. We're doing it on the same network, right?
Yeah,
So they
exactly.
are asking. Suppose you are there, you are in the home, and I'm right now in the office. So we are not in the same network, right?
Yeah.
So they are asking that how you can hack me using this way. Okay.
Yeah,
So
simple. I'm gonna use the ngrok like you used before for the phishing attack. I'm gonna create the IP, and instead of using the private IP here, I'm gonna place the link here. Okay, now moving forward, the WhatsApp app has been installed here. So let me just open. This is a pre-generated app, so it just has a button issue. I am just clicking on a button, and that's it. Okay, so as you can see, we got instant access. It was quite fast because, as Sir mentioned, I am using my private IP. In case of a ngrok status where I'm forwarding the IP, it might take some time. Okay, so I have my airplane mode on my phone. So that's why the phone number is not visible, or else the phone number is also gonna come. Now the question is, what can we do? This is our listener, which has been started.
sorry for the interruption, guys. Okay. Thank you for your patience.
So this is my mobile screen. So let's see what we can do here. So we can check the call manager. It will give us all the logs that the victim has used. I'll cross check for you guys so that you can verify. I'm not cheating. It's gonna take some time because the phone has quite number of logs.
Yes, yes. Please cover up those phone numbers.
Yeah. Please don't call up my friends. Thank you.
You can call him or me. No problem with that. But don't call.
Okay, so as you can see, the call log matches accurately. The top 18 are displayed. I will get all the call logs, and not only that, if I want, I can make a call from that phone.
Right.
I can record the call logs. I can start a live recording. I can back up the call logs so that I can use it later.
Just use the front camera to snap your face.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, so and what more can we do? Let's see. What if you want to chat with the victim, like send him a message?
I think the WhatsApp reader needs the root permission. Yeah, toaster. You can show the toaster.
I'll just show the toaster for now. I'll not go into complicacy because it will be too hard and the time is less.
Okay.
So let's say we want to chat with the victim. Let me just type hi.
It will just toast a message.
Yeah, just say. I'll show you. Yes, yeah, as you can see, we have the high here. I can literally chat on the screen with the victim.
Yes.
And
Right.
being honest, anyone will panic if a message pops up on their screen. And let me show you something else. What if you want to see what the victim is doing? So I'm going to go to remote eyes. I'm going to use my camera. Let's me use my front camera and take a quick snap. As you can see, you just compare the face. It's me only. So
Yeah, it's you.
so this is basically, and similarly, you can use remote ears. You can get the exact location of the victim. You can get
Okay.
WhatsApp reader. I am sure you are all interested in WhatsApp only,
Mm-hmm.
but don't try this. Disclaimer again. So that's basically
Okay.
what it is to Trojan. Now I'll be handing over again to sir.
Now you just continue the demonstration of the Trojan and just close the demonstration of the Trojan and go forward with the ransomware
Okay.
because it is in your machine.
Okay. Okay. So I'll be
Yeah,
disconnecting by, yeah, I got it.
yeah, you have better
Yeah.
configuration from
Yeah.
then.
So the slides we have here. So this is, I'm done with this one. Just go to the next one. So next topic we have here is ransomware. Now what a ransomware is, now this is a kind of a deadly virus I can say because it literally locks things. It's a type of malware that prevents a user from accessing their own system or personal files and demands a ransom for gaining access to them. I'll be
Yeah.
demonstrating it in a short while.
Yeah, let me
I'll be
explain it
just,
a while. Actually, you can see the name, the ransomware. Okay, as
yeah,
you can
what
know the
ransom means
meaning of
is it
ransom
means
is
extracting money.
exactly. And this is a where comes from this name, comes from the end of the name software of word software. So this is
It's
a
basically a
ransomware
software for collecting ransom.
money. Right.
Okay, so moving forward, there are types of ransomwares. Basically, the main types are scareware, screen locker, and encrypting ransom. Now, what a scareware is, it's used to scare, as you can guess from the name. It's just used to scare the victim. For example, if your system gets locked, you'll panic, right? You have important files, maybe personal files. If they get leaked, you'll be in a panic situation. So that's what scareware are used for. Next is screen lockers. What it does is it locks the screen. Now, you can't access your own screen, how can you access your files? And the last one is encrypting ransom. It encrypts every data in your system. I'll be demonstrating encrypting ransom right now using a single folder. So let's go into the demo because I think that's what you guys are interested in more. So as usual, this is my
Suppose it's for
attacker's machine.
demo purpose only, so that's why we are going to demonstrate it only in the same folder, not the whole machine. Okay.
Yeah, so because I need this machine, so I can't just destroy it for a demonstration, right?
Yes. The VMware system is very useful for us, very important actually.
So, okay, so I have a ransomware folder here, and this is my encryptor. So I have a txt file created, right? I have my name written here. So let's just consider this file as an important data file for myself. But if you want to think on a large scale, consider this as your system. So what I'm going to do is, this is a basic easy attack. I'm going to open this cryptor, and it's asking me to encrypt or decrypt. So I'm going to encrypt first. Let's go with capital E. It's asking for a password. Let's go for 1234.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, the file has been encrypted. Now let me show how an encrypted file looks. As you can see, you can't read anything what is written here. So you basically have lost all your data. It's in a really long encryption.
Suppose if this is an important paper or thesis paper of a PhD holder. Okay, so suppose it get locked, he's unable to do anything. Okay, don't take it only a single text file. Okay, I am a Moic file containing the I am just Moic file. It can be a big files. It can be a Word file. It can be Excel. It can be anything. It can be your important photos. Okay, continue.
You
Now,
can get your own Paytm hacked like this. Okay, so imagine getting your passwords locked. How are you going to access your own money? And by the time you get the access, they can literally steal from the back door, right?
yes.
So that's how thinking on a large scale is. So
So
now,
now we are gonna decrypt that file.
yeah,
Okay.
for example,
Mhm.
let me just assume that someone has asked for a ransom and you have provided it. Now you will be asked to get your files back, right? So how is the attacker going to do that? So let me show you. So I'm going to open that cryptor again and I'm going to decrypt this time. If you remember, the password is 1234, right? Now It's asking for a file name. I'll just copy it from. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, the encrypted word vanished. Now let's open it. It's back to normal, right? So this is a small scale attack I showed inside a folder using a single TXT file. Imagine this on a large scale. Imagine you are using your home PC which contains all your important files, all your projects, and it gets encrypted. Now, the only option you have is just providing the ransom because that's the only way, right?
So according to the cryptography, it is actually called a symmetric encryption because the file is encrypted with the password, and the same password is used to decrypt this one. Okay. In asymmetric encryption, you have to use, there's a concept of private key and public key.